Google stock jumped 5% on Monday on reports that Apple wants to use Google's Gemini to drive generative AI for its new iPhone. Looking at the fundamentals, Google now has a market cap of almost $1.9 trillion after this news. With $24 billion of cash, $118 billion of investments and $13 billion of debt, the enterprise value is $1.74 trillion. Revenue over the last 12 months comes to $307 billion, with $74 billion of net income and $119 billion of adjusted EBITDA. So Google stock is valued at 25 times earnings and just under 15 times EBITDA. This wouldn't be the first time that Apple has joined forces with Google. The original iPhone used Google Maps, and Google has been paying Apple $18 billion a year to be the default search engine on the Safari browser. Apple has so far been quiet on the AI front, but a deal with Google could see Gemini being deployed on over 2 billion devices. As noted by the New York Times, Gemini AI would leapfrog ChatGPT virtually overnight in terms of users. That said, Apple needs to be confident in the quality of Google's model. Google's initial AI launch didn't go to plan, and Gemini has been accused of producing racially biased images. As a result, the company had to turn that feature off. More broadly, some investors fear that AI could disrupt Google's main source of revenue. The risk is that generative AI will create better alternatives to text-based search. That would be a problem for Google, since the company still derives 57% of its revenue from search-based advertising. But there isn't much evidence that users are turning away from Google search, as Google's revenues continue to increase, and Google has plenty of other ways to generate growth. YouTube and Google Cloud are huge businesses, and Waymo has potential as well, and Google's cash pile allows the company to buy back an enormous number of shares. If you assume Google can grow its revenues at 5% per year for the next 5 years, then operate with a similar net income margin as it does today of 24%, the company would be producing $94 billion of net income in 5 years' time. Apply a 25 times multiple and the valuation comes to $2.35 trillion. Assume the company buys back 3% of its shares a year, and the investment return works out to just under 8% annualized. However, change top-line growth to 10% a year while keeping everything else the same, and the annualized return jumps to 13% per year. It's worth remembering at this point that Google already has 9 products with more than 1 billion users. That provides plenty of opportunity to grow sales, and that means Google stock can continue to move higher. But these are my personal opinions, not financial advice, and I do own shares in Google. For more investing videos, make sure to visit my website at 3minutebreakdowns.com. Thank you for watching.